A new report, meanwhile, reveals the Justice Department is aggressively moving to strip some Americans of their citizenship. NPR reports department leadership is directing its attorneys to pursue denaturalization in cases involving naturalized citizens who commit certain crimes, and giving U.S. attorneys wider discretion on when to carry out that move. It's according to a June 11th memo published online. NPR points out the tactic is aimed at U.S. citizens who were not born in the country. According to 2023 figures, nearly 25 million immigrants are naturalized citizens. Let's bring in former U.S. Attorney and MSNBC legal analyst Joyce Vance. She's a co-host of the Sisters-in-Law podcast. In her latest piece for Substack, Joyce writes about this threat to revoke citizenship. So, Joyce, good morning. In our previous segment, we're talking about people who came to this country illegally. But now what we're talking about in front of us are people who are American citizenship, who are American citizens. You can be born in another country, come here, be naturalized, and become a U.S. citizenship. Donald Trump and this administration now looking at taking away their citizenship. How do they do that?
Right. So there are legal mechanisms for doing this, although it's used very rarely. Something like 11 people a year have been denaturalized for the last several decades. And this news, Willie, it comes in a relatively innocuous memo entitled Civil Division Priorities for the Justice Department. And the sense you take away from this memo is that this will now become sort of a performative evaluation where U.S. attorneys' offices across the country may be, in fact, graded on the speed and the alacrity with which they pursue these denaturalizations. The language is very vague. There are no clear standards for who should be denaturalized. And so we can all imagine cases, for instance, former Nazis who came to the United States and lied about their pursuit of the Holocaust. Those were people who were convicted and denaturalized. But now there's the risk that it could be anyone who runs afoul of this administration, that, for instance, someone who's a naturalized citizen, maybe who's written a couple of bad checks, that they might become a target. And the real issue here is the lack of specificity and the vagueness over who now qualifies to lose their citizenship.
Joyce, how is this a thing? How is it a thing to take away U.S. citizenship? I thought once you were a citizen, you were a citizen. Has this been tested up at the Supreme Court? Is there precedent on this, or has it always been this way?
Well, there's precedent. There's a statute that provides that if you, for instance, lie about your background, or if you conceal information about yourself when you're going through the citizenship process, then it can be stripped from you. But typically that's been used with restraint and reserved for the most serious cases. The real issue here is there might be some cases where people would agree it's appropriate to strip citizenship, but because of the way they're rolling this out, you could envision this administration, which has taken old statutes used in understood ways and souped them up so that they can be used for political purposes to target, for instance, people who don't comply with this administration's policies. That's the concern here. The devil will be in the details.
And as Joyce points out, previously denaturalization has been used for people who committed war crimes, found to have committed war crimes, or even terrorists. But now the Trump administration might try to apply that much, much more broadly. Former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance, the new piece is up on Substack. Thanks, Joyce.